Aloha. Today I wanted to do a follow-up on the last video and just kind of share what else I've been seeing and adding. Actually, in the first video, when I mentioned the bashing of Obama that's getting ready to happen, the storyline of Make America Great Again, what it's going to look like, I wrote down, but I forgot to mention the idiocracy of Trump and the knowingness that he has access to pretty much every thought pattern in the United States, like formula, in that mind control formula. One of the big ones is the university system, and he's going to have to utilize, because he's an intelligent individual in some sense, and he's going to surround himself with people who are going to tell him what to do on an entertainment value, on an entertainment circuit, because that's who he is. He's an entertainer, just like Neil deGrasse and Bill Nye are the entertainment value talk show hosts, pretty much, of the university system. So one of the other things he's going to do to make America great again, you can't make America great again if you don't include intelligence. So this is why we're having the boom of all of these television shows that are based upon like outer space, or movies that are based upon Mars and Elon Musk going to Mars and the electric cars. The boom, or at least the introduction to that world, is part of how you would make America great again. Because the old system is dead, it's dry, it's based on profit. The reason why Bernie Sanders had such a powerful impact on the people and the system is because people are very well aware of the so-called powers that be, that have a stranglehold on the banking and the fiat currency system that's directly related to the politicians, and the entire web of control that relates to the politicians just being puppets. It's obvious. So Hillary Clinton was an obvious puppet. Donald Trump represents the individual who's not a part of that, in a sense, in the movie sense, kind of like Bernie was outwardly representing that with information. So people just took that obviousness and then just said, well, we don't want to be a part of the establishment anymore, so we're going to vote for somebody who's not part of the establishment and who might have a chance. It's like why he was saying in his campaign, what do you have to lose? Because basically the known was the people who are obviously puppets, which is Hillary Clinton. So you get people, the thing is to get people behind you, to get people riled up, invested in the system itself. It doesn't matter about the individual, it's about the system. Like Bernie Sanders, he was about changing the system. Hillary Clinton represented keeping the system the same. Trump was about destroying the old system and holding people accountable, throwing Hillary Clinton in jail, and so on and so forth. So you have the entertainer, you have the Make America Great Again, and you have the supremacy program mentality that is that fire that went out when the first black president was elected. So when all those people were sort of disenfranchised because the first black president came for 8 years. They played the role again of messing with the selections, playing with the emotional body, because the voting you're not voting. That is like, it's like playing with play school toys. It's like you're not pushing around a real shopping cart, little toddler. You're not you're not really cooking a turkey in that play school oven, little baby. That's what's happening. People are putting plastic turkeys in a plastic oven and then eating acting like they're getting riled up because whatever. That's what this system is about. It's a game. If you understand that they are systematically killing people, celebrating it, controlling the masses, the haves and the have-nots, if you understand that, then you can understand that voting is not at all anything that is real. It's totally fabricated. And they have to sell you a movie reel. They have to sell you Hollywood. So, as I suspected, the entertainment value of a Donald Trump will run out for however many years. If they leave him in, if they continue to play that role, which I think is beneficial for the system because people are going to want to watch the show. That's what they've been primed for. Also to set the standard for this idea of change and this idea of make America great again underneath the slave master of the supremacy program, in order to make the next disenfranchised group, which is the people, the Bernie voters. They're all pissed off. You got the people who believed in Obama, but he was hamstrung because he was part of the system and the first black president, so he couldn't do anything, and it was such a big mess after Bush, and so on and so forth. So the story is looking more like I said in the last video, obviously they're priming for the first woman president. They still got the global agenda, so that's going to fit in some kind of way. I think the longer that they push that out, the more money that they can make, the more control that they can maintain, the longer they push the global agenda out, because it can just grow. You get more people growing into the system. It hasn't reached that critical mass yet. So how I was seeing it, like the Make America Great Again with merging with Neil deGrasse Tyson and all that stuff. The next step would be to make America not ignorant and not racist and not sexist and not 1950s white male again, which is the opposite of that, which I mentioned in the last video would be a not white female as the first female president. And what immediately came to mind in the video, I didn't mention it in the video, but it was Michelle Obama, and she's been primed, and she's been primed in all these TV shows. She's been primed with, people loving, her with what she's been doing, and she's been projected or promoted as the strong one in between them. And when you really think about it, she's really no different, other than the lack of experience. She's no different than Hillary. Actually, she's more powerful. She's more trustworthy, and but the only thing is she doesn't have the same experience as Hillary. Now, that doesn't matter, because you just elected a steak salesman named Donald Trump, and who's just the worst piece of shit ever. So you can really get anybody with zero experience up there. And who's the most so-called experienced, not experienced individual? It looks like Michelle Obama, especially if she has Barack Obama as her first man in the White House. So his experience will be, he'll kind of help her through, and that'll be like that's how I'm seeing the projection of what's going on. That's how they've been priming everything up. And obviously with this image, I didn't make this image. Other people have been, this is like the third image I saw on Instagram that says Michelle Obama 2020. So it makes sense. This is what I was kind of like referencing towards when I was saying the first woman president and so on and so forth. And it's primed. It's ready to go. They just have to kind of play the role and then, bring it up. But whether it's her or not, it'll be somebody like her. Right now, it's just she makes more sense, and then people will be calling for her, like, you have to come and save the day, we need you. And then so anyway, yeah, so that system is looking more and more like that's the plan. And yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just a TV show. It's so generic and dry and ridiculous, and people just buy into it, really thinking that this is any different than slavery, that it's any different than the colonial program, and fail to realize that this exists on the soul level. These are slave masters. The White House is a slave house. Capitalism is a sham. This democracy, so-called democracy, it's a sham. It's all a magic show, like Hollywood. It's no different. Like when you start understanding outside the globe model, like outside the evolution theory, outside the Big Bang, the infrastructure of the diseased infrastructure of NASA, the diseased infrastructure of the university system, the intention of the colonial program, of the military-industrial complex and the fiat currency system, you'll realize that you're a slave in this system. And there is no in-between. Just like there's no in-between between having a connection, a conscious connection with spirit, and not having that connection. There's no in-between. Obviously, you are never separated from spirit as a manifestation of spirit. But you have the ability, you have the option with your own free will and your ability to be programmed to be an atheist or separate yourself from spirit with your own illusions, with your own magic. That same relationship is the same relationship that you have to your inner power, your fire, your knowledge of self. Your true knowledge of self is what exists outside of the slave program. There is no in-between. You cannot be a voter and call yourself conscious. It's like a slave with chains on saying you're free. Picking cotton in the field saying you're free. Like telling people you're free. When everybody knows we're all within this illusory power grid, because the generations, our fire of generations has been dampened out. This is a slave model. And right now, this next 4 years, the last people who are realizing that this is a slave model are the so-called white people. Like I said, that's why it's so difficult to talk about white supremacy and white privilege to so-called white people, because they still believe in the system, because the privilege itself overshadows the realization that the entire system is built to maintain the haves and the have-nots. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like what race you think you are and all that other stuff. Like, you either have or you have not. And the melanated people across the earth plane have had not since the colonial program was installed. And right now, it's gotten so amplified, and it needs so many people to believe in the system that it's starting to, well, along with the consciousness shifting, it's starting to leak over into its own pool of people that were benefiting from that system. So just like 9/11 was an attack on its own people, the system of slavery is leaking over into its own people, where you have people who even have white privilege and even their own supremacy, they still have that as their mentality, are now being affected by the supremacy program. And it's getting so bad, and it's gotten so bad, some people already realize it, that they're able to see it through all of the illusions that maintain that illusory pyramid or foundation, that plastic fire. So this is how I'm seeing what Trump is going to do to, and just being who he is, people are going to see that nothing's going to change. It's going to stay the same and get worse in many ways. And the people who are going to finally see this are now the overtly disenfranchised so-called white people, next to the this is why gentrification is happening. This is why all of this stuff is happening. It's that trend will continue to grow, but it will be more visual. People will be able to see what's going on more so as the time goes on, and as you have this machismo idiot Trump as your so-called president, and then they're gonna realize, what the fuck did we just do? Like, we just elected this idiot. It really is up to us. Like, we have to do something. And that'll prime everybody to come together in some kind of format, and then that's how I'm seeing they will activate whenever that sweet spot happens in the people or in the consciousness, that's when the global agenda or the so-called global agenda will be activated. Because, like I said in the last video, it's about buying time. If they could buy 8 years with Trump, then, and instead of buying just 4 years with a Hillary, then they're gonna buy these 8 years and then sell another 4 years later on. Or if they could buy 4 years now and then 4 years down the road, because they can sell you a piece of shit and then sell you a shiny piece of shit 4 years later, why not buy 4 extra years? He's like a throw out year, or a throw out selection. So buying time, this is what it's all about. And you can be entertained for 4 years or however many years they're going to leave him in there. And if he doesn't entertain you anymore, they'll just take him out and then activate the global agenda. It's win-win for the system. So the conspiracy theory storyline will still go on. Now he's going to be held accountable by the Alex Joneses, by the InfoWars. And if he turns his back on these individuals, they will turn on him. And then they will start this mentality of revolution against the system. He's just another puppet like the rest of them, and just like, and then they'll start this whole like, we need to revolt against the whole system. Like, so it's buying more time in the conspiracy world. It's the same shit. It's just about selling you storylines, getting you real riled up, and we're gonna take our. They're celebrating now. The Alex Jones Infowars. They really think they did something. They beat somebody, and it's not like they think that, because they know who they are. That's the energy that they're promoting to the people who follow them, who actually think that they think that, and they think that for themselves. So that's the intention of the information sharing program that is the alternative news, that is the controlled demolition, controlled opposition, Alex Jones Infowars, conspiracy theory, mind control program. Same goes with the conscious community. They release some little information here and there, or the so-called conscious community and the so-called new age community. It's really about buying your time, releasing secret space program information so you can believe that whatever is coming out that used to be secret, the alien agenda, we need to know about aliens. It keeps you from understanding stuff like the flat earth and the infrastructure of the university system. The alien agenda actually maintains the university system. The alien agenda maintains the power of the government, because if the secret space program gets released, who you think's going to be giving you that secret information? The individuals who are keeping it secret, and that makes them the good guy. From the bad guy to the good guy. Just like Trump is a piece of shit in the campaign, and now he's going to be promoted as the good guy because they have to do that. He's the president now. Just like the opposite was the same for Obama. He was the good guy in the campaign, and then when he got elected or selected, he was a piece of shit, a neutral, dry piece of toast. A dry piece of Wonder Bread. An intelligent, dry Wonder Bread sandwich. Dressed in a so-called black man suit. No, just like Lil Wayne, that's a white man. And when I say that, I'm talking about vibrations again. Obviously, there are no white people, there are no black people. We're more complex than that. So for this, it makes perfect sense. Lil Wayne, that's a white man. Barack Obama, that's a white man. They are part of the system, just two different extremes. And if it's difficult for you to understand that, then you got your own inner work to do. So Infowars and Alex Jones with this whole Trump landslide broke the back of election fraud. That's to make you believe in the system again, like I said in the last video. So because he won so bigly that you think the system is still real. So this is not for this election. This is setting you up to believe the next election. If Trump can win this election, and he did it, then that just makes the next election more realistic for you. And that's what Infowars and Alex Jones and all these people are about. That's what this whole system is about, to make you believe in the system so you can give your power away. And the people who have been benefiting from this system, the way it's been existing, have been the people in the white privilege and white supremacy program that benefit, obviously, the so-called white people, when you have the White House and all of your presidents being of that vibration, what is known as white. So you have, that's another one, you have this system that is designed to make you believe in it for the future, just like the movies make you believe in the future. They make you believe that NASA will be able to do what they're going to do when you watch Star Trek, when you watch Star Wars, when you watch Sandra Bullock in Gravity. You believe in the university system when you watch Matt Damon on Mars, when you watch Bruce Willis flying up to an asteroid to go blow it up, when you watch Will Smith punching an alien in the face. Like, this is this priming agenda to make you believe in the so-called future. And since the future is based upon what you create from this moment, then the magicians only have to affect how you create this moment, which is based upon how your history created the foundation to this moment, which will simultaneously create your future. And this goes into what I said 2 videos ago about these channelers coming through these so-called channels, or channels coming through these so-called channelers, and how that energy needs to protect itself. How I see channels coming through channelers is just like politicians. They're trying to protect their existence in the future, which is their present moment. In our future, their present moment. This is what politicians are doing. So they sell the agenda of technology. They sell the agenda of this illusory universe. They're creating a universe. They sell the agenda of this power grid so you can believe it 4 years, 8 years, 12 years down the road. And if they keep you dumb with the public education system and the university system, then you'll continue to create the universe which allows them to have power over you. So taking that to a universal scale, that's how I was seeing channels and channelers. Like Bashar, he's supposedly 700 years in the future of Daryl Anka. And a few months back, I did a video on this about Bashar and that whole thing. But it makes sense to me. And I haven't understood anything else that makes more sense than that since then. And it still holds water for me. But yeah, it's an energy. This is about vibration. If they create a universe within the consciousness of the entire collective that maintains a future where a Bashar, a civilization, an entity of Bashar, or other channels can exist, like these so-called aliens can exist like that, like they do in that material realm, in that materialistic universe, artificial universe, the synthetic Borg transhumanism universe, then that will be real just as much as you create your reality in the physical reality from thought patterns into the physical reality. Manipulating time with consciousness makes sense at the same time to me right now. I'm still kind of piecing this together, but that's really how it makes sense. So politicians, the politics ain't no different to me than like how the New Age reality creates the artificial futures of this alien agenda and so forth. And this is why it's seeming like it's taking so long, because I'm seeing, like, as we are understanding how this universe is was originally pieced together with stuff like the flat earth and connecting with your ancestors and your true history, not the ancient aliens commercial version of reality, connecting with your ancient civilizations, their connections with spirit, your direct links to spirit, your direct links throughout the allness of this experience, not an artificial version of this experience like the ancient aliens, what do they say, ancient astronaut theorists believe, or they don't say believe, they say something, profess or something like that. Ancient alien theorists profess that. Like, oh, that makes sense, that's true, I heard about something like that. It's to make you create that universe. The new university system is the ancient history channel and all that stuff. Yeah, this is another version of that. So I showed you in the past, but at the essence, I forgot that other image. You saw the other image, and if you watch the other videos, the dove for it says something like from normal to dark skin. That's what the dove soap or lotion, lotion line was. This was another one, but this is an actual mentality. Anti-racism poster gone horribly wrong. Everyone is normal on the inside. So If you're like this individual on the outside, you're not normal. You're abnormal, which is something bad, some piece of shit. This is not, look, this is a new thing. Like this is not an old, this is the same stuff that happens, and it's a mentality. This is part of the supremacy program. That your Fox News and your politicians, this is the story that they're telling, and they're going to more outwardly tell in the future when you have a Donald Trump in the office. So just as much as they're going to make him the superhero, he will simultaneously be a piece of shit in some kind of way. And you cannot, like I said, you can only polish a turd so much. And you're going to have these people out there like protesting and maintaining that he's a piece of shit. Still believing in the system. All these people protesting, it's because they believe in the system. You're still asking the system for something that they have zero interest in your well-being, zero interest in what you think, zero interest in you. If this was real, these protests were real, based in something that was real and actually human, these protests would have been going on during the entire campaign, not after the election. They would have been going on during the campaign, because both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump represent the same slave program. This happening after the selection is a proof that these individuals are still within the box. And the InfoWars mentality will sell this. They'll give Trump some time to do what he's going to do, but eventually they will jump on board of this protest movement against the system, because they'll realize that Trump is just a part of the system, just like Hillary would have been, just in a different style. And if they leave him in there, and this is what they want. They want people on the streets. They want people on the streets to make you, who don't go on the streets, to believe that the system is real, whether you think the system is whatever, or the people who are on the sidelines or on the fence or whatever. They think, oh, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, they're out there. Some people are thinking like that. I'm glad they're out there protesting. If I had the time and the energy, I would go. So thank you. Good job. Those are people who believe in the system. Then you have the other people who are angry now. They're just like anti-Trump protests underway. The people who are for Trump, who are for the system the way it is now. Now they're angry. Now they see an opposition. They say, oh, well, these people are on the streets. And it's such a complex system. But when you zoom out and realize that it all exists inside of a box, the complexities get really obvious. And it's not complex anymore, because you realize that this is all a movie. It's all a box. It's all a sham. It's all something to control the individual and the masses, all the way up until how you observe your universe and how your consciousness creates the universe. This synthetic universe is created by the consciousness who installed it. That's how a universe can be created. Obviously, it's not going to be the original universe that was thriving in the golden ages and existing outside of the mind control programs that we're underneath today. But coming out of these dark ages and moving into a deeper connection with ourselves, the Most High, and outside of the mind control program of the soul mind, the mind, the brain mind, and the body mind. It's like the crown, the heart mind, and the solar plexus, the stomach brain, the stomach mind. It's the physical reality, the bridge. Your heart is actually your your mind that gets shut down by the fear, the guilt programming, the everything that sucks you into the physical reality is in your heart chakra. It shuts that down. And your connection with soul and the spirit is your soul mind. So all these energy centers that are getting shut down systematically by stuff that we think is just, oh, it's just normal. It's just the way things are. It's like, no, when you connect all of these dots and you piece all this stuff together, it's not just the way things are. This is a systematic mind control program on every level, from your child, from preschool, from the toys that you buy your children, from the baby shower, from the circumcision after your baby leaves the womb, from the birth certificate, naming the legal name that your baby gets before they leave the hospital, from the genetically modified fake milk that you give your baby, throughout that baby's entire lifetime, through the public education system, through the university system, through the military industrial complex, through the prison industrial complex, wherever road they're projected into based upon the level of consciousness that they've maintained and coddled from their parents and the experience in the society to who they create themselves to be as an adult. And then becoming like this synthetic adult, and then wanting to find a partner to close that gap. This is how the emotional body gets played on every level. This is why, and I know I'm all over the place right now because I'm tapping onto some things that I didn't mention in a previous video, and stuff that I wanted to mention in this video, which is based upon the synthetic reality. That's what all of this is really about, the synthetic reality, synthetic relationships. The Tinder, the Match, the eHarmony, all of the dating sites. This plays right into the hand of the man-child and woman-child mentality. It builds up the plastic artificial ego, the artificial fire. You now have people who are being successful in their plastic ego. Now they build a pride. They're proud of, meeting somebody so quickly, and having sex and going on dates and so quickly. Because it's so easy, because now you have people just swiping left and swiping right on dating sites, and it's all based upon the plastic version, just like your face, your artificial. There's no soul there. Overall, when these people meet, then you can just demonize the external. You don't do any inner work. You do no knowledge of self-work. You make no connections with your own soul. Everything is externalized. So now your relationships are streamlined, because that's what this online dating thing does. It streamlines your relationship with an other, which separates you even more expediently from realizing that you have to first make a relationship with yourself before you can even look to having a relationship with somebody else. If you do close that gap and make that relationship happen before you have made a relationship with yourself, then you will create a portal with that level of consciousness that you both have decided to be in that moment, and open up a space for a soul to come in at that level of consciousness. If you would have done that knowledge of self-work outside of the emotional body that's triggered by the mainstream media, that makes you feel depressed during the winter months, that makes you want to have a relationship, that makes you need to get married, that makes you want to have a baby, that makes you want to do all this shit. This is the design of the system, because they need low vibrational energies to be paying them their energy into the system as batteries, as slaves, and they won't do anything about it. They won't do anything about the system. They'll just become part of the system. So this is how this plastic online dating service stuff works on the soul level. It creates a wall between your knowledge of self, your inner work, and creates an expedient version of meeting a partner and creating another soul who's just gonna do the same thing. Meet online. Hey, we met online, and next thing you know, Netflix and chill, which is another mind control installation program. Make it real easy for these people to sit down, eat some popcorn, stick their little wee wee in that little vajayjay, and make a little baby. And then now you got a bunch of babies walking around, babies kids walking around, not a fucking knowledge of self particle in their essence. Overall, is like ultimate idiocracy. But people are proud of that. People are like really, like, that's the way. That's normal. That's the culture of today. That's the normalized system, which is totally unnatural. And like I said in all the previous videos, this is what this system is about. Separating you from your divine feminine and divine masculine, turning men into women and women into men, separating you from all that is natural in order to be a part of what is normal. This election stuff for this level of consciousness right now, the election process, the voting for your politicians, that so-called leader mentality, that's like online dating. Instead of getting a partner, you're getting a leader for to run the entire country or run the whole world. This like online dating for collective power. It's the same plastic version of reality, synthesized, and it sells it to you with emotion, making you sick and diseased, installing drugs into the community, installing these artificial versions of education with the public education system, these magic spells, the illusions of the university system, to make you needy. You need something else because you're empty. You don't have a connection with yourself. So you need something to close that reality. So this is alcohol. This is why they're moving to legalize cannabis even more so. You think it's progress. The system is changing. That's buying more time. This is why they're doing it state by state, so they can buy more time. And then you still think it's changing. Oh, California made recreational weed now. Oh, things are really changing. You know, people are going to have so much more medication now than they used to. Real honest medication, like a natural drug or a natural plant like cannabis can really help people with cancer. Do you not see that they've been holding this back for decades? That's the whole mentality. You get caught up in the box instead of realizing the intentions of the box. So selling these plastic ass people like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama to you to make you believe in the system on however level, whoever you think you are, whoever you think you relate to, is to get you emotionally involved. So they get all these videos of these people crying like, oh my god, fucking Miley Cyrus. Like, who gives a shit about what Miley Cyrus thinks about, did she really deserved to be the first woman president? According to who? According to your silly ass? Miley Cyrus and Kylie Jenner and Katy Perry and Ariana Grande. Who the fuck cares about what they think the president should, like, oh, she should have been the first woman president. According to what? And people are just crying along with them. It's okay. We'll get them next time. 4 years a slave. It ain't 12 years a slave. It's 4 years a slave. That shit is so stupid. So the fake polls are like Alex Jones and InfoWars believes that the polls are fake. Like, that's obvious, like, to me, and when you understand, like, the election is just synthetic. So they understand that the polls are fake and the election is rigged for if it's for Hillary. But when the election votes for Trump, then it's not rigged. But the polls are still rigged. See, this is that mentality that doesn't get spoken about in the so-called conspiracy theory mentality. It's just like TYT has to back up everything that they were saying before the election. It's like, oh yeah, we said this and we projected this. And they've been dogging Donald Trump, and they've been on the wrong edge of that because they were trying to sell you Hillary. That's why. Now they're doing damage control. So yeah, so with InfoWars, the polls are fake, but the election is real. It's ridiculous. So what else is being projected by the so-called conspiracy theory stuff, or election, or the next 4 years, when Donald Trump turns his back on Alex Jones and they start turning their back and trying to create another revolt against the system, and then when Michelle Obama or whoever else gets put out there to be the next kind of Michelle Obama to challenge Donald Trump, then they'll just activate the establishment again. Trump was just part of the establishment. He tricked us. Oh, you dirty little guy. How did you trick us? So we are the people. We are the American people. You're not going to trick us again. We're going to challenge. We need to get the people together and fight the system. It's like, you fucking asshole. We've been already saying this shit. Your stupid ass got behind Trump. Nobody tell you to get behind Trump unless you're part of the system, which you obviously are. So, yeah. So yeah, the InfoWars is gonna push this whole economic collapse. They need to implode the dollar. It's already imploding, so it makes sense that they would probably implode it and do some kind of economic thing in order to bring in the global agenda. I don't know if they're gonna do it during the Trump thing or whatever. Like I said, it's beneficial for the system to leave Trump in there, to build it up, to buy more time before they bring in the global agenda. Because the more time that they get, the more people will believe in the system. And it needs to get smart. It needs to be, it's been dumb. It's been quiet with Obama. It was dumb with Bush. It's been quiet with Obama and destructive with Obama. And now it's dumb again with Trump. So they need to get smart again. And since he's an entertainer, and people like Neil deGrasse is an entertainer, and NASA is entertainment, and the university system and gravity and SpaceX and Elon Musk and Tesla and all that stuff is entertainment, they need some more time to build it up before they crash it in order to activate a successful global agenda. Now they could do it. They can do it any time because they can always play the fear program, implode it, crash the economy, or do whatever they're going to do to activate the new savior, this new currency or whatever it's going to do. They can play that because it's all about the fear. It's all about what's going to happen next. What will our protectors or saviors or leaders do next? They can play it any time, but what will be more effective, more believable for the system is to play it when it's at a peak, at like an up peak. So more people will believe in it. So like I said, Make America Great Again is going to be the movie, the entertainment that will be played out for this next however many years, to make you believe in the system again, because Obama was just to buy more time. So in order to make an idiot like Trump smart, he has to team up with the entertainment value of Neil deGrasse Tyson. And of course, they've already been playing this card so much. And they'll continue to play this card with people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye. I forgot about this. I mentioned it in the video about how Bill Nye will save the world. His Netflix thing is coming out in next year, like January or February, where it's called Bill Nye Saves the World. And that's going to be about science or the artificial science. And they're going to sell in this new version of science, all this Mars stuff, all this future stuff for you to believe in. And all Trump has to do is invite the leading scientists of our society to the White House and have a science meeting. And they'll talk about what we can do for the future. Because he's an idiot, so he'll need to be looking smart. So he's just going to surround himself with the people who are known to be smart, and they're gonna buy this shit up, and then they're just gonna do what Obama didn't do, because he was a part of the establishment and Trump is not. So it's gonna be this renaissance of science and politics like never before. That will make America great again. And we'll make America smart again by doing whatever it is that we're doing. We'll talk about the moon and NASA and going to Mars and solar panels with Elon Musk and all this other shit that's been on Discovery Channel, National Geographic. He's an entertainer, so he's going to play the TV. He's going to be the reality TV star, for you. That's the only way he'll be liked. He needs to be liked. That's what the artificial ego is about. He needs to be liked. He needs to be trusted, and he needs to be smart. And he's lazy. He's not going to read any books. He's not going to do any of this stuff. He's just going to surround himself with people who or get involved with stuff, just like Obama was on Viceland and stuff like that. But instead of deflecting the storyline, he's going to act like he's ahead of it, like he's in charge of it. He's going to have more of an authoritarian sort of engagement in the presidential seat, as opposed to Obama, which was more about deflecting any kind of questions in order to maintain the secrecy and the 0 degrees of movement, the system. So any kind of movement Trump does will be celebrated as amazing. But yeah, they'll get these little pieces of shit like Neil deGrasse Tyson calling himself an astrophysicist to go out and talk about the moon and politics and make it look real stupid and make themselves look real smart, and then eventually start to team up and make America great again, whatever the hell that means. So these are just the little pieces that I left out of the last video I wanted to add. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.